It was pretty much my first trip I took in this van, my Pleasureway, when I figured out I needed a safety plan. Came about because I had gone to the state park and I pulled in. It was a Sunday afternoon. There was a drizzle. Pretty much everybody had left, and I thought it would be a good idea to go in on a Sunday because I'm retired and probably have the place to myself, and I pretty much did. What I wasn't counting on was that this park didn't have any cell service or, of course, Wi-Fi, which to me sounded pretty typical for a state park. I decided I was early enough in the day that I was not going to sit in the rain in my van until the next day. It was not a bad rain. I would take a little hike. So I started on down the trail, along by a river or a creek, and then it dropped down to the river. And I decided, well, I'll just walk down there. I'm not going to get lost. I'll come back to the trail, go back to the van. Pretty easy, even for me. Started to walk down toward the river, and I slipped. I didn't fall, I caught myself. But at that moment, I started to think, what would have happened if I had broken my leg or something? There's a chance no one would be back in this campground or along that trail or looking down toward the river for 2 or 3 days. And if I could manage to crawl back to the van, I'm not going to have any cell service. And I'm pretty much stuck here. So it was at that point I decided I needed to do better. I hadn't even told anybody I was leaving. No one knew I was gone, or that I would be expected back, or where I possibly could be. So after I got home from that trip, safely, I sat down and decided to come up with this plan. So my 3-part plan is pretty simple. First part is I keep this notebook in the pocket of my driver's side door. And it has added to it over the years all the info about the van, some of the manuals, or at least the quick start guides to give me a little bit of help if I get perplexed, which doesn't happen that often. But the first page is about me. My full name, my address, my birth date, basic health info. I have my insurance cards. I have my travel assist plan, and also have the contact info for my brothers and a couple of other people. So that's the first thing I do. You should have that no matter what. The second thing I do is I prepare a travel plan. And I send this to my brothers and a couple of friends before I leave. And it tells them where I'm going to be during the trip. So if it's a 3-night trip, if each night is different, it says that. If it's 3 nights here and 3 nights there, it says that. I include phone numbers if I have them, the address if I have them, even the site number if I've been given that so far. If I'm boondocking one of the nights, it will say, I don't know where I'll be, but I'll get in touch. Then it mentions the protocol. And that is that when I reach the place, if it's 1 night of a 3-night stay, I will just text them or email them to say I made it. If I'm at a boondocking site, I'll do the same thing. I say, here's where I am, I made it, I'm fine. And if I'm going to be at a place for 4 days, I only do it on the first night. When I get home, I let them know I made it. It mentions a description of the van, 2018 Pleasureway Lexor, it's silver, license plate number, etc. So if they have to call someone, they have something to go on for them to be looking for this vehicle. Hopefully never have to use that, but that's my second part. Okay? It's got a little more detail than that. I'll be happy to send you a copy. Third, and also just as important, is I have now a satellite communicator. This one happens to be made by Garmin. I love it, and it's come in handy. I mentioned I will call or text or email. That first part, there was no cell phone, there was no email. I couldn't reach anyone to say, yeah, I'm fine. With this, I can. As long as I can get a clear view of the sky, I can use satellite to get a message out. It works great, and I have used this several times. You have to have a subscription. I pay $8 a month for the basic plan through Garmin, and I'm not necessarily recommending Garmin, but it's just one I'm familiar with. But I like this one because it's a communicator. I can actually type the message on my cell phone, and Bluetooth it, not using Wi-Fi, Bluetooth it over here, and that goes to the satellite. And they can reverse it and comes back to me so someone can reply. So that's very handy. So if I'm in a place where I can't tell my people on my list I made it, this lets me get that message out. Now actually you can pre-type in those messages, and I just say message number 1 is, I'm where I'm supposed to be, all's good. But another feature about this is if I actually am in need of help, emergency help, serious help, not that I'm out of pepperoni pizza or something. This has an SOS button on the side of it, and I open up the little compartment, the cover door, and I push and hold the button, and it initiates an SOS, monitored 24/7. That will send an alert. They will locate me using my location from here, and help will be started. It could be 2 hours. But since this is a communicator, they can actually send me a message, what's the issue? And I'll say, broken leg, or something else. Don't say out of pizza. They can say, okay, now we know, we're sending help. They call the local rescue squad, and they have this pinpointed all across wherever you might be, virtually worldwide. Won't work if you're in the cave again. You've got to be where you have clear view of the sky. But there's multiple satellites this uses to pick up. Very handy, and the fact you can use it to communicate back and forth is even better. It's got long battery life. I take it with me everywhere. So now with this, I can communicate with the folks at home if I have to, and also with an SOS. I hope I never use the SOS service, but the ability to communicate via satellite has already come in handy several times. Worth the $8 for sure. Another feature that it has you don't need a subscription for, you just use this as a standalone, is it has a track back feature. As soon as I turn this on and I start walking, it's tracking, like leaving breadcrumbs where I am. Now they're not using satellite for that, it's internally saved. But when I get to the end of my hike, if I'm a little bit bewildered, and that's happened on more than one occasion, I can go to the track back feature and follow my route back home, almost step by step. It'll tell me on course and off course till I get home. It's a great little thing to have, and it's small, as you can see, palm of your hand, very lightweight. But also with this feature, if I have this turned on in the car, when I go on a trip, I put it in the dashboard. Then using the sheet I gave my brothers and friends, they can also locate me. As long as this is turned on, they can go to a web link I've listed here, find my page, click locate mark, and it will find this location, and they will see it on a Google map if they want. Know exactly where I am, almost to the foot. So that's my 3-point plan. The book with my basic info, my travel plan, and my communicator. Thanks for watching. I hope I don't meet you in an emergency of some type, but hope to see you down the road.